So today's video is going to be a little bit of a different one. I am working on the GT86, which is currently out of shot behind the camera. We're also going to talk about some plans with the car. We're going to talk about some plans for 2020, but let's get into the video. Hey up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So as you've just heard, the car is currently behind you with the bonnet open. We're going to be taking off the Mishimoto induction kit. We're also going to be talking around some plans that I've got for the car, where the car may or may not go, and talk you through some things which have already happened. Now for some of you guys that have been on the channel for around 7 or 8 months now, you will know that I picked up the GT86 a little while ago, trading in the Golf R. Now the GT86 has been a fantastic car. It's not quite fit for purpose at this very moment in time, hence why I may actually be getting rid of it, and I'm currently making some inquiries, but it does depend on a lot of things, as is the case when you are selling a car. So as it stands at this very moment in time, I've just had the Cobra Sport UEL decap manifold taken off of the car and replaced with the standard item, and we're also going to be doing the same with the Mishimoto induction kit, which is today's job and what I'm going to be doing right now. In terms of what's going to happen in the future, I'm not entirely sure on what's going to happen or what's going to replace it, or if it's going to be replaced at all, but we'll speak about that as I'm taking the Mishimoto induction kit off. As I say, I've got the mechanical aptitude of a monkey, so it's probably going to prove to be quite a funny video as you see me struggling, although it's not a complicated job whatsoever. And you might be sat there thinking, oh my god, he's changing cars again. Yes, that may be the case, and I have changed cars quite a lot since I've actually started driving, but we've got some exciting things which sort of attribute to the reason why I may be getting rid of it, but we'll talk about them in a second. First things first, I need to go and get the standard airbox out of the cupboard over here, make sure we've got all the bolts, all the fittings, everything ready to go, and then we're going to turn the camera around and we're going to take a look at removing the Mishimoto kit. So that was actually relatively easy to find, and most of the time when I'm replacing stock parts for the modified parts or vice versa, I always struggle to find them because I don't keep them in the right place. But luckily for me, there's a nice little space over there which it's been sat in since I actually changed it. I just need to make sure we've got all the bolts, and then we can turn it around and crack on with the job. So as you can see, we're down at the front of the car, and I am actually sat down, and I think this is the first time that I've sat down to either install or uninstall car parts. A, because I'm particularly lazy, B, because I don't want to do my back in, and C, simply because everything's in the vicinity of where my hands are, barring the sound generator piece, which is just over there, which I guess I'll have to stand up and do at some point. Now in order to be able to take this off, I've actually got two tools, one being an Allen key, the second being a flat-headed screwdriver, just to get the majority of these pieces off. I do need a Phillips head, which I'll get at the time to be able to remove the MAF. I'll get that off, put that into the back over here until the new system is in and ready to go. Now I need to make sure that I keep all of these bolts and everything like that, because this will be sold to somebody. You know, of course you're getting an absolute bargain here because I'm selling it for quite a bit off the actual list price, but it's only been on the car for 4 or 5 months and only done 700 miles at the very maximum since it's been installed. So I'm going to put these somewhere safe, and then we're going to crack on with the rest of it. So that's the airbox lid off, the air filter is now exposed. I'm going to use this flathead screwdriver just to get it off, but that took all of 2 minutes to be able to get to that point. I'm not going to keep you guys watching all of this, so we'll speed through some of it until I've got something useful to say about what's going to be happening with this, and also what's going to be happening in the future. So let me get down to it and I'll come back to you guys shortly. And like magic, approximately 5 minutes after I stopped the video here, the stock intake is on. I think I've lost the MAF, it's probably somewhere in the garage. I've damaged my finger, I'm not sticking ones up at you guys. It always seems to be the case when we're doing stuff with induction kits. I always seem to bleed in some way, shape or form. There is a really odd bolt just down the side there. It's really easy to get to when you've got the stock airbox in, but the Mishimoto one's a bit deeper. So when you're trying to actually get down to it to unscrew the bolt, your hand just gets caught on absolutely everything. Once I've found the MAF, I'm going to install that, and then we're going to talk a little bit around what's happening with this car. So you're probably sat there thinking, well, he's returning his car to standard, so of course the car is going to be sold. I'm not entirely sure at this very moment in time. It does depend on quite a lot of factors. A, part exchange prices. B, what am I going to get next? C, what is the price of that thing that I'm going to get next, and how much difference I have to pay to be able to get into something. I did mention that there's possibly another car coming along, which is going to be a project car. But if you are subscribed to the channel, you go to the community tab in my sort of channel page, you'll have seen that a bit earlier on, just before Christmas, I put up a poll around, if I were to get a project car, what would you want it to be? So the options were a front wheel drive track car, something like a Civic Type R, a Megane, a Clio, something along them lines, something that I could just take to the track and thrash about and not have any care for, or little care for anyway. So the second option was to get a rear wheel drive track slash drift car, and I say slash drift car because you can't do both competently at the same time. So you can't be putting like extended locks and extended steering locks and welding the diff for a track car, because it just won't work. So that's still to be decided, but the general consensus and my sort of personal opinion is to go for the rear wheel drive one. So that will be coming probably towards the summer, fingers crossed, I hope. But in terms of the next car, in terms of the daily, the thing that you'll probably see the most content on for the moment anyway, I have narrowed it down to a couple of different cars which, whether you guys like them or not, I'm not sure. You probably will. If you're a fan of the GT86 and you're an owner of the GT86, you probably won't like it. If you're a fan of the Golf R and you've been here since that day, then you probably will like it, and whether that's a clue or maybe you can guess it from that, I'm not sure, but it's probably not what you're expecting. I did have an option to buy something completely different, and I say completely different being it's just out there, it's just way out there in terms of what I'm sort of expecting to get, but the prices on that didn't quite line up, or as far as I'm aware they didn't quite line up, so it didn't quite come to fruition. I'm in talks now with a couple of people about the GT86, so maybe it gets sold in the next couple of weeks to a month. I'm not looking at rushing it, of course. I've taken all the parts off it, I'm going to sell them, so I've got a couple of people who are interested in the manifold, a couple of people who are interested in the induction kit. I've got the wheels to get rid of, which is probably going to be the Achilles heel in terms of time wise. But yeah, so that's exactly what's going to happen. The GT86 may or may not go. With regards to what the decision is on that, you will find out quite shortly, I think. I'll either announce it on my Instagram, which will be down here right now, or the Facebook page, or any of the other social media, or even on the community tab on my YouTube channel. And I think that's about it. Right to the left of me here, which will actually get it, is the manifold for the GT86. Of course, it's just passed its MOT. I didn't document that because I was in a very big rush. I wasn't feeling too well. The car went to go get an MOT, passed with flying colours, and the induction kit is just behind me in a box over there, so I'll get them sorted for now. But I think that's it for the video. I just wanted to update you guys with what's going on with that, and it's possibly the reason why I haven't been making so much content on the GT86, because I've just been in this state of deliberation, let's say. But whatever's coming next, you know for a fact it's going to be crazy. I'm going to push forward with it. I want to make it so sick. I want to do a couple of different things that I've never done with a car before, so stay tuned and let's see how that gets on. Of course, if you are new to the YouTube channel, then welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like it, like and subscribe. And for those guys that have been here since the very start, thank you so much. And until next time, I'll see you then.